Hello, this is Dr. K. In this video, we are going to be taking the person class from the Java tutorial, and we're going to be turning it into an immutable class. Okay, an immutable class is a class in which the object value cannot change. So we have the person class from the Java tutorial. I have it right here in Eclipse. Okay, and let's just scroll down. We see some fields, we see a constructor, some methods, a bunch of accessor methods, compare by age, and a roster method. I'm actually going to take all of this stuff out except for the fields, okay? And I will show you why in a little bit. Actually, I want to save that getAge method. I'm just going to comment that one out, but I'm going to get rid of the constructor and essentially get rid of everything else. All right, except that last curly brace. And what do we got? Well, let's see. We're going to need isochronology, but we aren't going to need the lists. I'm not going to do a create roster method in here. All right, and we see that everything still compiles. We're not getting any red marks. All we've got is a class with an inner class enum type sex, male, female, and we've got a bunch of fields here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make these fields private. Right now, they are, I think it's called package protected if there's no accessor method here. But I don't like that. I'd rather see them explicitly declared. I'm going to declare these private because I do not need anything from the other classes in person to see them. In fact, I have no other classes in person except for person test. Okay, so I'm going to make all these private. And not only that, but if you make an immutable class, it's a good idea to make, to make all of your instance variables final also. That means that they cannot be assigned to. Once they've been assigned to in the constructor, they cannot be reassigned to in any of the methods. Okay, and that is a good idea. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and make the class final also. And when you make a class final, it means this class cannot be extended. And that's a good idea because sometimes you can extend things and you might add some variables or something like that that can be modified, which would in turn make the class mutable. Okay, so I'm just being extra careful here because I want this to be an immutable class where once you have an object of type person, you cannot change that object. Okay, so we've got all these private final variables now, and you can see it's giving us an error. The value of the field person name is not used. That is the blank final. It hasn't been initialized yet either, so that's a serious problem. Let's go ahead and take care of that. The way I'm going to do that in Eclipse is I'm going to use this source menu to generate a constructor automatically. So I'm going to choose this generate constructor using fields. And it's saying which fields do you want to use. All of them are checked by default. Do you want this to be public? Yes. Generate constructor comments. That's a good idea to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. So, because this video is just going to focus on creating the methods, but it is a good idea to always generate comments for your methods. All right. The format of the constructor. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to say go ahead and generate a constructor. I like to put my fields first. So it put the constructor first. So I'm just going to cut and paste that. I'm going to move it to after the fields. Okay, and now you see I'm not getting those errors anymore. Now I'm just getting a warning that the value of the field, etc., has not been used. We're going to fix that also. So look at the constructor it's generated. It generates a call to super first, and that means if this class extends anything, the constructor of the super class is generated first. Well, it extends object by default. I don't need to call the object constructor for any reason, so I'm just going to get rid of that super. And in fact, you're going to see in a lot of these things, I'm going to use Eclipse's default generation mechanism, and then I'm going to tweak that a little bit.